this is all just a dream.
Just a dream. Back now.
Dance.
Obey. In my dream.
Kill it. Just a dream. Back now.
Dance.
I've got a look that takes me out my body. You've got a way about you that knows all of me, and I want it all. Oh, and I want it all. Never thought I would feel like this, but the way your heart makes mine go up and down. I want you all around me, want you inside out, and I want it all. I want it all. 'Cause baby,
Hey everyone, how are we doing? Welcome back, Pickle. Well, it is a good evening because it's Friday, right? Let's see what box to do tonight. You're not wrong there. Oh, wait, the chat messages are not visible. Give me a second, I need to edit that.
got a touch that takes me up to outer space. There's a world you don't see. Stars in your face.
You know what? I'll fix that at some point. Yeah, the weekends are too short, but what can you do? Let's pick a machine. I think I want to do something with Linux today. How about environment? Oh, come on. How's training going? While the machine is booting. Oh, nice. So you mean the certification from Cyber Defenses? It doesn't matter as long as you training, then and as I said before, I'm happy to answer any questions over Discord or anything like that. If you need a hand with anything. The usual hack the box ports 22 and 80 for a Linux machine. I have to say I haven't done anything from cyber defenses, so I don't know much about them. It's responding from a named host, so let's add that too. While that scan is running, let's do subdomains as well. So taking out the default 8 lines response. Let's also start burp. Well, it's more interesting to be on the offensive side, but at the moment, as I said, I'm playing on both sides. It's interesting on the blue team side as well, especially if you have an incident that you need to investigate. You need to dig through logs, try to think like a hacker. What might have they done and how? So that's also interesting. Don't discard the blue side of things. Did I not write it correctly? Oh. So no subdomains, but is it PHP? Let's see. Nginx and Linux, yeah, we can kind of assume it's PHP. Oh, it's Laravel, so it's definitely PHP. Laravel is... Yeah, context does account for a lot there. But for that you need the correct tools to say, okay, user information, host information, traffic, and all of that. So it is a Laravel session. Laravel is basically a PHP framework that allows you to build websites quite easily. I've used it in the past. So let's do... word lists, sec lists, discovery, web content. Login, logout, there's an upload, there's an up page, Let's see. Okay, that's just saying that the application is up. I wonder if there is a register, if there is a login. Nope. But just writing some notes now. Upload seems to be available, and we have mailing, but mailing we've already tried with this. Let's send that to repeater and do upload. Let's see what issues we get. Oh, you need to be logged in to access that endpoint. Okay. So we don't really have a username and a password just yet. We can try some SQL injection for the login, but it's Laravel, and by default Laravel, especially the login pages, are not vulnerable to that because it's using an ORM style, so everything's passed in as a parameter to the queries. I know there are some Laravel exploits, but I'm trying to figure out what version this is. Do we have anything in the scripts or anything like that? Let's see what let's kill that for now because we don't need it. We have the initial scan that we're working with. So I'm trying to figure out a way to determine the Laravel version. No, so that you can generate that page using a command, but I'm looking at the specific Laravel version. I'm trying to figure out which one of these the application is using, and I'm trying to do that by going through the scripts or the JavaScript or the CSS to see if anything from there that I can use to identify the version, because normally when you build a website, it has some sort of hash that is generated there, but I don't remember exactly the folder structure for this one. You can see we have build and vendor, and why is vendor there though? Let's do because there are a few Laravel exploits. The thing is, I don't want to just go ahead and fire exploits blindingly at the website just because I know it's Laravel. So let's see. This is for 11:30. Let's try to figure out did this one find anything? No, not on the vendor. Is the build assets. We should have some assets in here as well. Styles in here, well, these are styles. I'm looking for something with JavaScript if there is anything, but I don't think there is. Yeah, so this one's doing just a post request to the mailing site. Should we do? And it has a CSRF token, which doesn't help us. If that token is being validated, then we cannot really do. Yeah, that's because of the token mismatch. As if we do. Why is it failing now? Response okay. Okay, so okay in terms of JavaScript, that requires a 200 type response. Anything else falls in the else, and it gives us an error. Okay, not a problem. Let's do storage. Files, okay. Long shot to actually see files being uploaded there, but okay. Actually, let's do storage files. Let's see if that helps, but I don't think so. Let's just do storage again because I killed it too quickly. Those files redirect to storage files. Yeah, forbidden directory because we don't have directory listing enabled. I think that's about it for that one. Let's see. Actually, yeah, it doesn't really help. No, it won't. This one say just go to your app and slash version, but it won't. You need to have that defined as a root in Laravel. Let's see. ExploitDB. Let's see what ExploitDB has to show for Laravel. So we do have storage available, but I don't think we have logs, do we? No, we don't. That's what I thought. As storage, you can have it linked in Laravel, but this one will not actually allow you to do logs. Is it just me, or ExploitDB is not being maintained very well? That would be an interesting project to write based on the resources used in Laravel and the way it generates the cookie. We can try to figure out the version it's using. Can you guys hear me? Okay, looks like my stream is a bit unstable at the moment. Oh. And we have the PHP version and Laravel version. Did I not see that in... Apparently not. Anyway. So now we know that this Laravel 1130, we actually had that. Right, let's see. So no, I didn't. I just did a post request. So I was doing the post request through the website. If I go back, and I did it via burp as well. So this is the post request that's going to mailing. But I didn't try to do a get request in the browser, so I've missed that. We like to see a over 7 score, so let's see. That's interesting. So if the PHP directive is set to on, we can craft a URL to interact with the environment. Let's see, is there a POC for this? Mm-hmm. That is very interesting.
Escape the system, embrace the sound.
Let's see if that does anything to our application. We can do local dev.
Escape the system, embrace the sound. Electrifying.
Yeah, this is not what it says. We can test some of these payloads to see if they work. We can do that in burp though. So no, that's the same output as before. Version. Nope. It would be interesting if it worked. No. Yeah, I don't see how these would work for that particular vulnerability, because that vulnerability just takes in environment, not this. So it would be something like env equals local, which bypasses a few of the protections that Laravel default has by default. Maybe we can do register on local. No, that's not found. Dev. No. How's my bitrate doing? No, so the way the storage works in Laravel, you have to create a symlink to that path. Let me show you the. Let me go to the source of Laravel. GitHub Laravel. So by default, when you create the named host, you point it to the public folder, right? In the public folder, you have the index, which basically bootstraps the application. For the website to have access to the log, you would need to symlink it here, because the logs are basically in storage logs. So they're outside of where the root directory of the application. That's why you cannot access them. But Laravel has the ability to symlink the storage for public files. So when you do storage, it will symlink this directory. So it will symlink storage app public to your public folder. That's why the storage/files is available. So there was a login page. Can we do... That doesn't help. That's an internal error. Oh, and we have some source code. Can we use this in the browser? There we go. Undefined variable, keep login. So basically, if you send anything other than true or false here, you don't get that error. But if you send a random string, you get that error, and it gives us a bit of okay. So if the app environment is pre-prod, then it automatically logs in as a user. That's interesting. So we don't even need the vulnerability here for the local env. What we do need is to just trigger that error. So yeah, we now have a way to log in, but I'm just writing my notes. preprod. So just do, and then what we can do is actually inspect elements. There we go. If I could just type properly, that would be. And we have access to the application. CV. Oh, thanks for the follow, Portbuster. Based on CV 2024 52301. Okay. So, well, where's my? There we go. So now that we have access, we can have a look at what's going on in here. We can upload a new picture apparently. And that's about it. So, because this is the only functionality, I'm gonna focus on the upload because I don't see anything else there. There is of course, the mailing list, but we already have access, so cross-site scripting or anything of that sort is irrelevant at this stage. There was another CV on that page, wasn't there? On this one, something about uploads. Okay. Right, so they say that type of validation can be bypassed, and that's the default one that Laravel uses for images. But we need to figure out how, and I'm assuming there is a CV for that as well. since this is a medium box on Hack the Box, I don't think they're expecting you to write a custom exploit or find a new exploit to do that. No, that's reflected cross-site scripting. File upload bypass. Yep, we're in those versions, so we're version 11.30.0. And does it have a CV attached to it? Yes. Let's see what this one does. So it's creating basically it's creating a PHP file, but I want to see how it's actually sending the request. So there's nothing special about it. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna use that exactly. Yeah, so those are the bytes for a JPEG image, which means if I do just that and the PHP is set request CMD, because I want to be able to send it via post as well. System request CMD. So in this case, the basically request stands for both post, get, and any other variable. Well, let's see if that works. Storage files seems to be uploaded. So if we now go to storage files image1.jpg, it errors out, but cmd equal id. Why isn't it showing? Anyway, storage files image1.jpg cmd equal id. Oh no, it's not parsing it as PHP. So we're missing something here. It's probably these bytes that I'm missing. Well, so we have the token there, and we can use this. File content, we can just put that. FC. I want my content, not that. There we go. I wonder if we're gonna have to get a new CSRF token or not, but and data equals data, and then that can go because we don't need it. Let's do that. Print text. Oh. Page expired. Exactly as I thought. We need to get a new CSRF token before we can do that. Or maybe, oh yeah, because the session changes, doesn't it? So yeah. Every time you refresh the page, that session gets updated. So that's why you need the CSRF token. Okay, this song is a bit annoying. Give me a sec. There we go. So let's do it. Let's do the session object. Session get, then we need to extract the token from there, which means let's comment that out for now. Print there we go. So and we have the token. Now what we can do is actually do the upload request. So we can copy that, but instead of using a new request, we use the same session as before. So it maintains the cookies and everything. And we do session post, and our URL is that one. And we have data equals data, files equal files. And I don't have the file content, which I need to provide here. And then let's see if that actually works. Some errors occurred during upload, but it's no longer complaining about the CSRF, which is good. But we need to change the name from files to upload. What happened there? I think that's an error page, isn't it? Oh, that's long. Yeah, that's an error page. And that's probably because we need to send it in as one file, not multiples. A file with the same name already exists. There we go. So now we have the file at Psycho. And if we go to here, the file is there, but But the code doesn't execute though. So we have the headers for the image, and we have some other headers, and we have PHP code, which should execute. But instead, we're getting it as normal output. Do we need to name it? .php. Let's remove that. Invalid files detected, of course. Let's look again at this exploit. If not, we can look for another one. So it still uploads. We just need the dot instead of star. Ah, there we go. So with just a dot, it basically removes it and sets the extension as PHP. So now if we do .php, yeah, we have code execution. So the original CV doesn't do that. The original exploit that we were looking at doesn't do the missing dot there. So we had to dig a bit deeper on the CV and how it actually works. But we have code execution now basically, which means we can change that. So that's why I'm using request instead of get, because with get you're limited to what you can post in the URL there, but with this, oh, did they remove it already? That's probably the cleanup script. There we go. So now we can actually do which curl, and it should return which bash. And we have bash there as well. So let me just put this in my notes. That was the CV ID again. So, do I have... No, I don't. Let's install some tools. Where is it? Extensions. By the way, if you don't know about this extension, I highly recommend it. It's very good, very helpful in this sort of situations. So what it does, you set your IP address if it loads. There we go. 10.10.15.150, and I usually use bin bash, and then basically it gives you a reverse shell that you can use, and it has a lot of different scenarios. So what we can do is close that one because we don't need it, close that one because we don't need it. Okay, 8443. Yeah, it's probably the encoding there that's mocking up the shell. It was... No. You know what? I can do it differently. I can just use Metasploit instead of a normal shell, and we can do MSF Venom. There we go. Actually, let's do cat. Let's see. Release to verify. We're working with Debian Bookworm version 12. A 64-bit. So pserv 80, and then use exploit multi handler. Payload that, set lhost to 0. Okay, and in here we can do 10, 10, 15, 150 E back O TMP E chmod TMP E and then TMP E and pass it in as and we got the session back. We are data. So actually we want to be somewhere in app, in the main app directory. Yeah. We're looking for any type of credentials, so let's look in env file first. No, there's nothing around there. So we're seeing the error pages on the website because it's set in debug even in production mode. That should never be the case, by the way, unless you're doing local development. Never set it to debug. Let's see what else do we have in here. Actually, let's see what users we have on the box. We have Hish. So I'm assuming we need to somehow move into that. Let's see. Let's look in the log files for the app. Storage logs. That's gonna be big. So let me do something else. So we can see it has logs from his home directory. But there's an SQLite database as well. Let's see if we can find it. I'm thinking maybe we can get his password and crack it, and then maybe that gives us SSH access. But let's see. I don't remember exactly where the database is stored, so let's search for it. There it is. That's from an older box. So let's add this file. So actually we have 3 users in here with 3 hashes. Let's check the type. Yep. So we can close that one because we no longer need it. We have a shell already. 3000 tech A0. No, the other way around. While that's going, we can actually investigate a bit more. I just remember that Laravel actually has migrations, and I wonder if the developer set his password in clear text in the migrations. Let's check. Or seeders. No, that's the default one. No. No, it's not in there. Let's run linpiece. I remember to change the stream title after being on stream for an hour and a bit. Yeah, I don't think those passwords will crack. We have GPG keys, okay. Well, GPG application, not keys. How come we have read access to his home folder? And there are some keys there. I need to look into that. Okay. Ish. Apparently we can read user.txt as well. Yep. So we got the user flag. We have read to his whole home folder. Okay. Let's download that. Let's close that to oh. It's not like that anyway. Download, and I need key vaults. Okay. So we have his key. But we didn't see any other encrypted files, did we? Oh no. There are two keys here. Yeah, this is just me running FOF earlier. That's why we're seeing that in the logs there. let's get all that data. So we got trusted. So we have the key vault. Okay, we have the keys there. Now we need to decrypt that, don't we? Oof. Let's quit, because that's not gonna do anything for us. Out. Key vault. Decrypt. Do I need to recreate the folder structure or something? Because I don't have the... Okay, so if we do... No secret key. Where is our secret? Where is the secret key? We have all that. You have the both private keys. Does it need to be in that specific folder? Okay, yeah. So 3B in here. And move C2. Let's create a folder for that one as well. So and let's see. Okay, now we no longer get a key error. Did we get? Yes. And we got some passwords. So right. So I'm assuming that his environment password will work for SSH. And it does. And we can execute system info as sudo. So we take system info and we go to bins. I don't think that's what I searched for. Actually, man system info. Do I have one? Actually, let's do that. Nope. Is it? Okay. It's not finding anything because it's not a binary, it's a custom bash script. Don't see anything in here that can be directly exploited. User then. So we have read access and execute access, but no write access. It's preserving our bash environment. And we got code execution as root. Basically, what this does, it tells the script to load all the other scripts that are defined in bash environment here. And because we are defining our script as shell script, basically, it executes that script. So what should we do? Should we get another interpreter listener, because we have that binary here? Yeah, let's do that. So exit jobs not running. We rerun the interpreter session, so we have the job there. And what we can do is t.sh, basically just do e and okay. Oop. Are you done? And we are root. Now if we actually want, we could probably copy our SSH key into the root folder. Let's do that and get the proper shell back. Actually, might need to run SSH keygen first if it doesn't have an SSH directory. SSH keygen. And now we can do SSH root at and we're there. So because of how the environment is set up, and because it's copying the environment from the executor, we're allowed to set up environment variables that allows us to execute scripts as root. Any questions about the box? It's funny because the exploit in Laravel was environment based, and the exploit for root is also environment based. I like the box. Not horrendously difficult, but entertaining. And it's easy to miss stuff like the how we missed the initial error page that gave us the Laravel version. It's so easy to miss stuff like that, and when you're doing normal pen tests or even exams. I think that's about it for tonight. Maybe Sunday I'll do another Windows box. Play a bit more with Sliver and some bypasses. I think maybe next Friday. No, I didn't roll back Sliver. I actually managed to get it working. The session doesn't die anymore, but you need to do a very weird combination. You need to, when you're in a shell, in a session there, you need to type exit and then press Ctrl D as well afterwards. The creator of Sliver was saying, yeah, he had a lot of issues with that, but he managed to fix it in the end by doing that. So I tested it yesterday. So this was basically a rabbit hole with a database, because you cannot crack those passwords. We needed the GPG directories, which is nice. Any questions? Let me see if I can fix the chat. Okay, well, if there are no questions, then I wish you all a very nice weekend, and see you all on Sunday. On Sunday I'll be starting an hour earlier than my normal stream, so I'll start at 8 instead of 9. But hopefully see you then. Let's try to raid a channel. It will probably be my first raid.